This is going to be very interesting.
Very. Hey,
Wait,
cousin.
hey,
Ooh.
wait, I'm still trying to figure out how to get this right, y'all. Don't wait, hold on. Well,
Look, we finna pray this thing in.
all right, all right, all
Right.
right. Y'all can see red. Y'all can
Girl,
see
Yeah.
you got
red.
the girls out there.
Light skin, bright skin.
Wait,
Hold on. We can't hear you.
Turn your volume up. Hold
wait.
on. Wait.
There we go.
I apologize. My apologies to the people.
Can you hear us
So
good?
what's up? Yes, I can hear you guys
Okay.
great.
Uh, this has been nerve wracking for both of us. All of
I
us.
know,
It's okay.
right?
We're gonna get through this. We're gonna push past it. Look, we finna go ahead and pray this bad boy in because the devil's already trying to get up before we even start.
Come on, let's do
Um,
it.
Father
Yes.
God, we pray in the name of Jesus over him. Father God, God, we thank you. We ask that you forgive us of every sin, every impurity, anything that'll stop us from getting blessed by you today, anything that'll block or hinder what you're trying to bless your people with. God, cleanse us of it, and we ask for your forgiveness now. We ask that you heal every heart, Father God. Allow people to hear this story and be relieved from it, because there's so many people that are going through divorce, singleness, separation. So we just thank you for this being a blessing to the ears that are listening, and to the 1 million people that it's touching right now. We stand in agreement. We thank you for even just the one that it touches. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Well, so
What up? What up? So we're doing a our cousin story today.
yes,
Sun Kissed Blonde.
That's
Nicky
me.
J.
Listen, we're so happy that you're here, that you decided to bless us with your beautiful presence. Give it
Yes.
up
I
for Nick
am honored
J.
that y'all wanted to have me. I am honored. I am honored. I am honored. My ghetto talk cousins for real.
We
Yes.
are, we are, we are.
And what today's topic is: marriage after divorce,
Life after
life after
divorce.
Like
divorce.
after
Well,
divorce.
we're gonna
You
get
you trying to you speaking to it?
Right.
yes,
Look,
cause we're gonna get
look, she
married
got
again.
her ring on him.
Look, you see this? I'm married to Jesus right now. Y'all better hold on.
Well, let's get into it. I'm nervous, y'all, but come
So,
on. I'm
okay,
ready. Let
we
me
have
tell my story.
we have an icebreaker question to get you out of the get us out of the nerve wracking phase.
Okay. Why y'all
So
seem so far? But I seem so close, like I'm trying to be all in the camera.
because it's two of us
Oh,
and one of you,
okay then.
but you look, we ain't that far. But okay,
Stop it.
icebreaker question. Back
Yes.
then, what did your ideal man look like? Like, how did you, if you could build a man, how did he look? What was his traits before you even got married? Like, how would you form him?
Wow. Okay. Honest question.
Yeah.
This is your icebreaker, so this gives you
All
out. Come on.
right. My younger days, oh, he had to be tall, chocolate. You hear me? It's the truth. It's
Value
my
because
truth. Mouthful. Wait, hold on. Can y'all hear me now?
yeah.
Okay. Mouthful of gold.
Oh,
Yes, I'm
Oh
telling you the truth.
Jesus.
I said the extra chocolate part, and all about me. Like you ain't have to be up under me all the time, but just about me, about his paper, and about me. You
Right.
know, I didn't think about everything else that in between us growing together,
yeah.
getting to know each other over and over again, because
Mhm.
we have different, different parts of our life where we're different people. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Got you. That makes
Okay,
sense.
okay, okay.
You said a mouthful of goals though, like you went
Yeah.
back,
So
back.
Grip me down. Listen, he had to have. I'm telling my age, but he had to have his Dayton on his box Chevy. I needed to hear his music from down the street. I'm
Listen.
telling you the truth.
wanted to trick daddy.
No, 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 not Maurice.
She called it by his government, not the government name.
Yeah.
Because y'all need to know what I mean. No, that wasn't
Right.
it.
Okay, so cousin, we're gonna get a little bit of your backstory because you know everybody always want to fast forward to right now, but we need how you got up to where you at right now. So give us a little bit of backstory. So when you were little, like what did marriage look like to you? Like what did you see as far as a good representation of marriage, or even a bad representation of marriage when you was little?
A good representation of marriage. Claire and Cliff Huxtable.
Oh,
Um,
That's
the
it.
Cosby.
I'm not saying no one was married in my family, but
right.
as far as like my grandparents, they were together, but they were not together. They lived separately, lived separate lives, and then they decided, okay, we tired of shenanigans, so we're gonna move back in, and we're gonna be together again. But well, I can't say my grandma on my mom and my dad's side, my grandma Ruby. and John D. But I mean, everybody has a story. You know what I'm saying? Every marriage has a story.
Yes.
But as far as how I looked at what we consider a good marriage, a good representation of marriage, it was the hustle. It made me
So,
want to have a whole bunch of kids.
right.
It made me want to be a lawyer. It's so funny. I never thought about my man being a doctor. I just knew I was going to be a lawyer.
Mm.
Does that make sense? Like I never really thought as far as what his career goals would be.
You just thought about you
Yeah.
in a sense, like career wise.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's a good one. So, because you only seen the Huxtable, like the TV representation of marriage, what made it appealing to you? Was it just TV?
It was like everything. Because I was the only child till I was 12 that I knew of. Until I met my brother later on in life, but that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw I liked the fact that they had siblings. You had a big sister, you had a big brother, then you got, Rudy was my favorite. I always loved Rudy,
Everybody's favorite.
right? And but just the whole aspect of it, you had everybody in the same house. My mom and my dad, I never know my mom and my dad to be together in the same house because they broke up when I was really small. You know what I'm saying? So all of that was like, man, that's it. They got a nice house. They wear nice clothes. I felt like, what's his name, Cliff? He wore the best sweaters. I was like, that's a daddy sweater.
He had them corduroys.
That was the Black Mr. Rogers.
I like it. He wear them sweaters, that thing. All right, but it just seemed ideal to me. Like that was the first time I ever felt like I could dream and be more than what I see.
Mm.
If that makes sense.
It do. And it's crazy because how we have to look at TV. Because they used to call it, I don't know if you ever heard the term before, they say television because it tells lies to your vision.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so true because like the fact that you and other people, even us, like we have to see that through TV makes it a lot more difficult to be like, you know what, I'm good because I really don't see this in real life. I only see it on TV.
And it's crazy because TV kind of like, it manipulated it in a sense, but at the same time, it gave us a true story of what we needed to expect. Like they gave us a false narrative, but it's like, dang, life need to be like this for real. But it made it seem like it was a fairy tale, like it wasn't tangible. Like I'm only gonna see this on TV, and it's like we supposed to have this in real life, but we only knew it real to be on TV. But next question, we finna get in your business.
Okay.
You ready?
Right, go ahead.
Look, sipping her wine. Because send me some virtually, okay?
You see what this says? Good things will happen.
All right. So before you and your ex-spouse got married, like when he was your husband, how long did it take y'all before y'all decided y'all wanted to get married? Like how long were y'all dating and then began to talk about marriage and then actually getting married?
Honestly, we didn't date that long at all. If I was to be real truthful, this was something, he was dating somebody else. It was never supposed to be anything outside of having fun. You get what I'm saying? And it went further than we expected. And as time went on, in all actuality, I got pregnant really fast, and he went to prison.
Oh, after like how long into the relationship did he go to prison?
I was
after y'all got married.
No, we weren't married yet. We got married after he got out of prison.
But you were pregnant before he went.
Yes.
Okay.
So and I never thought, and honestly, at that point, I already had my oldest son. That didn't work out with his dad. So the getting married and all that stuff, that was just a fantasy that had completed for me. So when he did go to prison, I was 3 months pregnant, but we had broke up because he decided he wanted to be with somebody else.
Right.
The truth.
Right.
So yeah, he decided, he was like, and it went like this. He said, did you tell your mom your last name is going to change? And I was like, what? And he was like, did you tell your mom your last name is going to change? And I say, what are you talking about? And that's how it went. A year later, we were married. And at that point, I had 2 kids. So we had got married. Our child together was like 2. By the time when he got out of prison, our son was almost 3 years old because he went out when I was 3 months pregnant. And then
this guy, or you did get married? You got married.
This the one she got married to.
The one that was in prison that got married to. Okay.
And then we tried to build a future together. I felt like, okay, I never thought that any of this was going to happen. Like I said, marriage was not even in my mind, in my preview ever. I just figured it was just going to be me and my oldest son.
Yeah.
So life started happening. And, by us getting everything happening so fast, we never really got a chance to get to know each other, the real love,
Mm.
you know? And it went from me, how can I say this? I want to say it right. We had expectations.
Mm-hmm.
We both had expectations of who we expected the other to be.
Was
I
there?
was something he,
I don't mean
huh?
to interrupt, but were there unspoken expectations?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. You know, I think I fell in love with the fantasy of us, how we used to hang out because we were friends. We would have a really good time together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think I was something different for him and he was something different for me.
Okay.
And we felt comfortable enough to be around each other, but we never did the work, if that
Right.
makes sense.
And
We
I think
never
that's
did.
where a lot of us mess up at. It's like we get into these relationships and they're supposed to be just friendships, but we make it something permanent.
Yes.
So it's like, dang, we cool, like you my dog. And next thing you know, we got these hormones. It ain't even real feelings, they're just hormones because you find yourself attracted to a person. You're attracted to something they're wearing or driving or something like that, or maybe they money, something you're not used to. And then you turn that friend into a boyfriend. And then now y'all realize, okay, we don't like each other like that, but y'all stick around with each other because y'all feel like it might mess up the friendship, or y'all got a child together, so y'all hold on to whatever it is.
We broke up. When
Mm-hmm.
he went to prison, we broke up. We so so really marriage was really. Now I got two kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with either one of the fathers, and I'm like, no, it's just us. It's me and my boys. And I never thought that we would get back together. That was just out my mindset. Truth be told, I became an angry black woman. You know,
Yeah.
and I used to hate that term, but it's the truth. The truth was this: if you couldn't do anything for me, I wasn't interested. I wasn't going to allow myself to let my guard down again for you to what play with my feelings. Everything became negative about me. I couldn't see a future with anybody outside of what you could do for me. So when you really think about it, how sometimes women love to say, "Oh, these dudes ain't nothing. They don't want nothing. They all lie." I mean, I think everybody lie at some point. If you want to be honest,
Right.
But I think what the biggest thing is when you can lie to everybody, but you can't lie to yourself. You
That's
know, you could be a woman. You could say, I want to be independent. I don't need no man for this. I can pay my own rent. I could do all. That's great. I do that right now. But guess what? I want somebody to do it for me. I would like it. It would be nice. You know, it would be nice. But it's just we lie. You can lie and say you don't care. I ain't worried about no man. Just like men do the same thing.
right.
But we were not created to be alone.
Nope.
It's periods of time that we should be alone so we can get to know ourselves. But nobody was created to be alone. And because we be so scared to put our heart out there because this person, what naming them, had done broke our heart. And see,
Yeah.
men, this is the thing for me, my experience. And I am not, please don't quote me, don't come DM me and all this foolishness. But it seems like my encounters with a lot of men, even if they're just friends, it's like they're taking hurt from high school.
Yeah. You're
Like
right.
that ain't even. I'm not saying you were not hurt, but that ain't even the real. You ain't experienced the real. I'm sick to my stomach. Poison me hurt because
Right.
the first girl you had a crush on, she wound up being a loose goose. Now it's my fault. I'm telling you, and I think it benefited me and it hurt me at the same time growing up around a lot of dudes. I didn't have any sisters that was my age, no brothers that was my age that I knew of, so I was around boys all the time. So I would hear
Right.
their conversations and the things that they say, even when they was hurt and they didn't think I heard them. I would hear and they would.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they would be hurt about. They would be sick about the loose one,
True.
and I
And
couldn't
she was
understand it.
let her loose.
I'm talking about loose, jiggling everywhere. But that's not judging nobody, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody got a story. So for me, it's like y'all they tell women don't judge. Can't put everything what one dude did on every other dude, and that's right. That's not fair.
Right.
But a lot of men do that.
Right.
They can love you and care for you, but something you do trigger make them think about old Lucy Boo. Then here they come acting crazy with you.
Yeah, it's them trauma triggers.
But I think the narrative is this: if people be willing to just be honest, it don't always mean that you're going to be in a
Right.
relationship, and it's not about telling all your business. But if you start from the jump honest, most times, I'm not saying all the time,
Right.
you can make something happen, even if y'all decide that, oh no, this ain't gonna work out. But I feel like even if it'll end in a good way, because
Right.
everybody cards on the table.
Exactly. Look, you might still be able to be friends at some
Right.
point.
And then being
Exactly.
honest, like that's a part of healing as well. Because some people in their past they didn't know how to be honest, and they were lying all the time. So being honest is a part of their healing process, and they're learning to be honest. It's like I have to unlearn the lies to learn how to tell the truth. Because some people they're more comfortable with the lie. Just like uncomfortable conversations right now, it's like I don't want to do it because it don't make me feel good. But the lies I
Ooh.
run from it.
Y'all can see how my legs shaking over here.
Long as it's shaking in a good way, right?
Ooh, but
Oh,
next question. I'm ready. Shoot, I'm ready now. I'm ready. Come on, cousin. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Because I'm ready. Okay, so you did mention that you had another child coming into the relationship. So how did the blended family work? Because you had a child already and then you end up getting pregnant and then he went to prison. So how did that end up working? How did the parenting work?
Oh wow, this is a good one. Oh my
girl,
gosh.
I
Wait a
know.
minute.
Look, wait. Hold
Mm.
on. I got you. Look,
Okay.
H2O.
Okay, here we go. Here's the thing with the blended part. My oldest son was 18 months at the time.
Okay.
Okay. So for the most part, it was fine. Now, here's me, what I did. And I'm seeing it now that he's almost 26. Uh, I think I overcompensated.
Mm.
And let me tell you what I mean. My mom, married, had my sister, whatever. So in our house, everybody had the same last name, except me. Those were the best. I'm a Johnson, right? Nobody excluded me, but in a way, you feel like an
yeah,
outsider, you know? So in my mind, I said, I don't want my baby to feel like that. So I probably indulged more than I should have with him, you know, I just wanted to make him feel special, and really that's my first child. And believe it or not, being honest with your first child, this, they getting the trial run. You don't know what the hell you doing.
Look, I
They
call
get
it.
like that was my friend though. That was my
my
age,
son.
that was me. It was me and Juwan. I hear that like, well, he was like, mommy, we could do that's how it was, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm not really seeing the manifestation of me overcompensating until now. Because it's a sense of entitlement now. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, I got a good boy, but he has a sense of entitlement. I'm telling you, and I can't blame that on my ex-husband. That was all me. Because
Right.
I was determined that my child wouldn't feel how I felt. But you really can't determine that. You can give all the love in the world, you can give all the attention in the world, but it's still not going to change that we were Mitchells and he was a Johnson.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
So do you think, like, could you sense, even in his growing up, that he felt different? Like he felt like an outsider?
I don't think he never mentioned it to me. And see, boys are different. They'll hide stuff. You have
Yeah.
to really know your children.
Right.
You
I feel
know?
like they don't know how to express themselves as much as girls do. Cause my daughter, sometimes she'll be stubborn, and it's like once you leave her alone, she'll cry, she'll get it out. But my son, it's like you gotta do extra stuff with them. Like, well, the age he at now, like play with toys and try to tell where you're. Like, well, it's just hard for them to get them emotions out because they're taught to be hard. They're taught to not what the example they gave us before. When a girl fall, we make them up. Oh, come here, brush it off. A boy fall, boy, get your butt up. Stop crying. Wipe yourself off. So we already
Can I
trained
say something?
to not
Oh, I'm
feel,
sorry, I didn't
not
mean to cut
express.
you off.
Huh?
I didn't mean to cut you off. Listen, I think I was uniquely designed to be a boy mom
Mm-hmm.
because I never did. I told my boys they didn't want to. Like they had to be really like with Jawan, my oldest one. That boy didn't even cry when he was teething. Only time my child ever cried was when he was sick. I never had to have that conversation about. Now that second one, that was he was more like me. I'm gonna tell the truth. He was a whiner. But it's like they've gotten older and they switch roles. But they never, I never, the middle one, I think the middle child always be the whining one. But he was so difficult being small. Now he's so easygoing. Now that last one, DJ from the crib, as he called, he gave himself that name now. The 12-year-old, he gave himself that name.
What's his nickname?
DJ. He's a junior, right? But he
Right.
gave himself the name DJ from the crib.
Oh.
Yes, my 12-year-old, yeah. But he's different. He don't cry. Like when he cry, he has to again. He got if his feelings hurt, he'll cry. This boy the one that got a root canal teeth pull. He said to the dentist, "I'm like, wait a minute, are you okay?" Nothing. He never cried for shots. Nothing.
Oh, he'll do.
I don't know, but I never. But I always gave them. But one thing I did do with them, I always gave each one of them their own time. So some simple stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but I said, "Come right to the store, mommy."
No, it doesn't.
And we'll stop.
Yeah.
I stop, and we'll stop to McDonald's or something like that, and I'll be like, "Don't tell your brother. You know they're gonna get mad." So you know what I'm saying? So they always feel like, and I did it with, I still do it to this day. But hey, when I'm dead and gone, they can say, I was mama's favorite. Y'all can all tell the same story. You know.
I said I was gonna start doing that to my kids.
But I do that to her youngest daughter. Like you
teach them.
Okay, so with I know how you said the how the kids were growing up, but how was it? How did you react to the child? Because sometimes being that the child is in certain situations, being that the child is not his, it may be a little different. Sometimes you don't want to treat them different, but sometimes it happens. Did he treat him any different? Did you notice any different treatment from him than his actual son?
No, honestly, I can't. I didn't. If he did, he hid it from me. Maybe because he knew I wasn't gonna have it,
Right.
But I can honestly say I don't.
Okay.
I didn't witness.
Okay.
All right. My question. Do you feel like you were like over? Because I know a lot of times people say that a lot of women are too masculine, and they want a king or provider, but they're too masculine, so they can't get one. So do you feel like you were too masculine or too much of a thug to receive a certain type of man, or do you feel like you was too hard for your husband?
No, and yeah.
Look at that face, cause look at that face.
Yeah. No, let me hit. Okay, listen. When we first got together, right? Like together after the prison, all that stuff. There, trying to learn. I was coming off of that angry woman stage, right? So part of me was like, it was nothing. It was never nothing for me to like the cook, the clean. That was easy for me. That was like nothing. Keep the house. That was nothing. But you was not going to talk to me like you my daddy. You get what I'm saying?
So you didn't like still. Well, I wouldn't say you didn't like submission, but I know some people it's hard to submit to somebody that's not worth following.
That's why I said it's a yeah and a no, right? Yeah. So argument. Oh, I was bad. Oh, you're not going to, because I'm going back to how he handled me before he went to jail when I first was pregnant. Like I'm bringing all this old stuff up, and honestly, I was dead wrong because if I decided to be with you again, that's a clean slate.
True.
I don't care if she go out and cheat, he go out and cheat. If you decide to stay, that's a clean slate. I know that sounds easier said than done, but it's the truth. That's the only way that shit gonna work. I'm sorry, excuse me, y'all. That's the only way it's gonna work. You can't every time I remember how you did me with that girl, or I remember it's just you can't. So what I started doing, I used to pray this, right? I was like, Lord, just let him come home. So he wouldn't stay out all night and stay out in the street because those not his friends. They don't want to see him do good. This was my prayer. I was constantly praying for him to change. Then one day it hit me. I said, okay, you pray for him still in the covering of my house, but I started praying, God, make me a better wife. Make me a better sister, mother. Just make Nicky better, a child, all the way around. Just make me better.
Right.
What started happening? I see this is the funny part. How the enemy works is once I started really investing in myself, that's when the shift changed. You get what I'm saying? Because one thing about it, even if, because see, it could be a lot of stuff that breaks a marriage up. People always think about infidelity. Okay, fine. We already been there, done that with that. But if you're starting, and we just learned this, but it's the truth. If you're starting to change and grow, if that person is not changing and growing with you or trying to get to know you at this level and vice versa, they're going to always try to take you back from where you came from.
Yep.
So true.
So if I'm praying and asking to be better, God, give me the right words to say. But he's not there, and he's telling me, "Oh, that praying don't work. What you praying for?"
Ooh, that was definitely the devil. That was him.
You
That was
know,
him.
you know what I'm saying? But now but see that to get me to revert back to, yeah, my nigga, all that right there, that nigga
Cussing you out and
Yeah. And they be ready for you to blow up so they can use that against you.
see you doing all that praying and look at you.
Exactly.
That's why I say it was a yeah and a no. I had to grow into that person, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and not saying I got it all the way right because I made some mistakes, you know, but I really devoted myself to being better, and I never thought improving myself would cause a rift in my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the mistake most women make. Oh, I don't go nowhere. I cook, I clean, I stay in the house. Ain't nobody. Now I'm selling myself to you. Nigga, you already married me. You must have
Right.
seen some value in me if you decided to put a ring on it. Some benefit. Because you wasn't no illegal alien trying to get no papers. So you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like it's like you have to keep getting to know each other, right? That's one thing. So when I started getting to know myself, I said, okay, people always talk about submission. Let me really sit back and understand what this submission means.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought submitting was dimming my light. Let me be real clear. I've been wearing blonde hair.
Say that again. Say that again.
Dimming my light. Because let me tell you something. This sounds trivial, but I've been wearing my hair blonde for almost 20 years, probably over 20. Okay, it was some breaks in between, you know, maybe when I got pregnant or whatever. But I've been wearing my hair 613 or whatever for like 20 years. It's little subtle things when I say dim my light. If you know this how I like my hair, you know this. Like, you don't never want to wear. You don't want to wear black hair. What I got? Like everything. It was like you were trying to take everything that I love to do. Like I can't tell you how to cut your hair.
Right.
I can't tell you, oh, stop. Please don't wear no more Bob Marley shirts and Dickies. Please. You understand what I'm saying? But you trying to change. He resting in peace. I like Bob Marley, but you ain't got to have one every day,
No,
like
I'm
all
saying
the
he keep
time.
wearing the shirts. He need to leave Bob Marley alone.
Please. God, leave.
He said Bob Marley.
But that's what I'm saying is that you don't notice it at the time. So you slowly changing how you do your hair. And I'm not talking to nobody that don't have color. I'm not saying color makes you. It's just if that's how you like your hair. I don't care if you like your hair dreaded. It's nice. Now imagine your husband coming to tell you why you don't get no perm. Now when I'm talking about hair color, it don't seem like a big deal. But somebody that's natural in your method, man, ain't gonna get no
That's
perm.
what happened to me before I even got married to him. When I had locks, this is my second time having locks. He said something about the worms in my head, and I combed them out. But look
That's
at
the power. So you know we start submitting, but we start submitting indirectly, and we don't understand that's not submission.
that's control.
Exactly. Because this attracted you, but now you're trying to change everything about me. Listen, it was me and my mama, so I was very independent. I had to learn certain things, right? Let I was taking it wasn't no man, so I was until my stepdad came, so I was taking the garbage out. You know what I'm saying? It was things. It was no man in the house, so it was a lot of things I knew how to do on my own because it was me and my mama for a long period of time by ourselves. So it was even simple things like him opening the car door for me. I'm used to going to get in the car because I'm used to just being me by myself, you know. But I said, okay, I'm gonna tell you this song, Mary J. Blige song, "Talk to Me." It was on one of them CDs. Talk to me just. And I said, this song got a little point. She said, "You're gonna talk to me just like you need to talk to me." And In the song she was talking about, I want to respect you because you are the head, but it's so many things being left unsaid that stuck with me. So I said, "Hey, look, listen to this song."
Ooh.
I said, "Listen to this song." So in my mind, I said, "You know what? Maybe I didn't totally submit to my husband. So to make him feel closer to me, I'm gonna tell him my greatest fear with us." And I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a fear that you will leave me. Every time we got into an argument from that point on,
Ooh.
man, I need to leave. We too different. We too different. We too different. We too different. But it's not to beat him up because we do what we know how to do. We respond how we know how to respond. And in that moment, I relinquish my power, right?
Right.
Now, get off him. Let's come back to me. Because this ain't no beat no man up. We ain't doing that.
Right.
I had to learn that I can be unapologetically Nikki and love with all my heart. I can be there for him. I can have his back because see, in my head, I ain't care what he was doing. If he had a hustler spirit in him, oh, we could take over the world.
Right. Look, Bonnie and Clyde, let's go.
Come on, let's do it. I got you. You get what I'm saying? But it's never gonna. You gotta have a plan. I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with you leading. But come on, player. We got to have a plan.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if this man got a plan and he got a vision, I got to be right and be able to back him up where he lacking. He may not be good with paperwork. He may not be good with organization, but he got $1 million plan. Even if it's not, the fact that he dared a dream and he trusts me with his dream. Come on, baby. I'm riding with you till the wheels fall off. I think we get so lost in ourselves and how we get affected and how we get so hurt, we separate the two and forget that once we got married, we became one.
Yeah.
Right.
My feelings. You hurt my feelings. You hurt, and I'm over here. You hurt my feelings. You hurt my, but you said this, you said that. So now, come on, how? Instead of us sitting down and saying, hey, come on, let's figure this out. I grew a lot. Let me tell you, I never thought that my marriage would end, but I learned so much from it. I learned so much from it. I learned a lot about me.
That's you.
I learned a lot about me. I ain't want to fail. Even when I knew my heart was gone, I stayed. Because I ain't want to fail. My ego.
And that was my next question. And it's like, what really, because I know for me, but what really made you, after all the hell, like when we just take so much and we know we have so many options out.
Ooh, y'all got me tender.
Go ahead, tender pentagram. So
what
made you stay? Like, because I know what made me stay. But like, yeah, you didn't want to fail. But after the abuse, after the lying, the cheating, whatever else happened, what made you say, you know what? Even though he done put me through all this hell, I'm still gonna stay.
My pride. I didn't want to fail. Like,
you want to fail as Nikki, or you don't want to be a failure?
I ain't want to fail. Period. I ain't want to fail as a wife. I ain't want to fail as Nikki. My kids had got accustomed to having a family unit, family trip, us together. I did not. I felt guilty for wanting out, even though I had every right to get out.
So do you know what made you feel that guilt? Like, do you feel like was that a guilt you created yourself, or was that a guilt that was formed over the family relationships that you witnessed?
I did that. I did that because I felt like, okay, believe it or not, I told myself that a lot of the stuff that was happening, oh, you ain't no better than nobody else. It happens to everybody. You understand? I ain't no angel. I did some things in my life. I dated people, boyfriends or whatever, So when it happened to me, I was like, oh, this is my karma. That's just my karma coming back on me. Okay. Well, how many times is it gonna come back on you, girl? Okay, God don't work like that, but okay,
Come
really,
on.
God don't work like that. That's not how He works. But still,
Okay.
how many times? Okay,
But you see what you just said though, because you said God don't work like that, but out of the abundance of our mouth, out of the abundance of our hearts, our life and death is in the power of our own tongue.
yes,
Both that karma on ourselves. Cause God, like, you come to me and repent, I'm gonna forgive you. But you, since you said this is my, you attached yourself to it. This is my
yes.
karma. Now you're receiving what you just spoke on yourself.
And I started
So we,
telling myself, if I love Him more, if I could just love Him some more, if I
mm-hmm.
keep loving. And see, I took responsibility for stuff that wasn't my responsibility. You know, it was like, he had a rough life, right? So I felt like if I love Him, I can love Him through all that.
You got them
You
tender in the
know,
comments, Nikki.
I'm tender right now, y'all. I'm
Tender,
sorry. I
tender.
said I promised myself I wasn't gonna be tender in the grass tonight,
Ain't
but I am.
90 times for your thug right now.
Look, release. Release. That's what we
Yeah,
doing.
last
Release.
time I was with Shawnee, she had people crying and stuff.
Release. Release.
Look, now it's time for you to roar. Somebody finna hear this, and somebody that ain't never even heard your story before, like, dang, ain't no Nikki went through all that. Yes, baby, indeed, and
And
still
then, not
right.
please don't get me wrong. It wasn't all bad.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't all bad. It just got to the point where I was done arguing. You know,
It's too much from you.
it took it. I didn't have no more fight in me. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it started to get to the point where I was looking at my kids in their eyes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they getting older. You know, and we going
They
back and
bored.
forth, and he talking greedy. I know how I am about my mama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it was time. You know, only so much was going to happen. Until one of them exploded, and that's what I saw. Like, and oh, I thank God for Jesus. Listen,
Yeah.
marriage
Yeah.
is a beautiful thing. You hear me? Marriage is a beautiful thing to all who are listening. You hear me? But uh, don't let my
I
story
get a
deter you.
hallelujah and an amen in the chat. Ain't the Lord good?
Don't let my
This is good.
story deter you. Do not let my story deter you. I was so hesitant. Let me tell you why I was really nervous about this whole thing. Because I don't want someone who's never been married to frown upon marriage, because marriage is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to understand that marriage is not a destination. You cannot treat it as the destination. Like, we arrived. I was married now. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot do that. That's the
No.
beginning. And ladies, I'm going to tell you something. You know, we have our idea, and you said something about your ideal man. We have our ideal man in our head. You know, right now at this point in my life, at this good old 46, Idris is it for me. Hey, black man,
Did you say
yeah.
Idris? Girl, ain't he married too?
I'm saying if he was
look,
single, you want to know what he looked
look,
like
he
without
probably
the
got a
gold.
brother. He
Uh-uh.
might got a brother.
Mm-mm.
I don't
Mm-mm.
need Idris because he ain't got no money or nothing. I'm just playing, y'all. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a
Don't do
joke.
it like that.
It's jokes. But what I'm saying is, our perfect man. Like, people like to say happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Because a good man that's a provider, that's a family man that wants to be there for his family, his wife, his kids. He needs to feel valued too. That's the only way that's gonna work. When he out in the world catching hell all day, to me, let me start segue. There's nothing more amazing than a black man to me.
Come on, you better say it.
God did his
Lord
daughter with him. He
is.
made a black man. You hear me?
You
Oh,
better
Jesus.
say it.
Oh, let that rest in your spirit.
Sizzle, all in your
Yeah.
spirit.
Mm.
Is we always talk about our perfect man, but ladies, we ain't everything they want.
Mm. Can you repeat
Ooh,
for the people in the
we
chat?
not everything they want either. And you got different type of men, like different type of things. Baby, we ain't built muscular and thick and fine like Serena. We got a fupa.
And do I'm working on mine.
Child,
But
Chris
all I'm
Donut
saying
type.
is, whatever
Yeah.
it is, his
Yeah.
ideal. I'm just using physical traits, but we forget and make that stuff one sided.
Mm-hmm.
We need each other. A man needs to be
Exactly.
uplifted. If he out there in the street and he catching hell all day. I don't care how he getting his money, hustling, working a regular 9 to 5. I don't care what it is. If I'm catching hell out here and I gotta come home and go through hell too, I gotta walk through the door. As soon as I walk through the door, yeah. Come on,
I'm
man.
leaving. He gonna leave.
He going out there with what name?
They don't want to hear that.
And see, we get mad because women like to say, "Well, look what he cheated. He went from sugar to because 9 times 10 he done left it with somebody that ain't really got nothing. We looking at the materialist, they ain't got nothing, but she listens to him.
That's the big part.
She listens
She
to him.
they cook.
Lala listening to him. When he come through Lala though, he don't care nobody being dirty, nothing like that. He comes over, hey, she got a smile, happy to see him. Don't nobody want to come home to that. That's the part nobody don't talk about. We talk about what the wife go through. A man needs peace. Home needs to be peace. People talk about when somebody, she stole this, stole her man. I stole you. No, you didn't. You can never steal anybody mate from them, but you could give them away though.
Yeah.
You could hand them over to somebody.
Ouch. Dang, how many? Wait a minute. Never mind.
Hand them over. Let me tell you something. You want to sing the song, but Betty Wright told the truth. The cleanup woman. Nobody, no person can take another person from someone. Change that narrative. They left because they wanted to, and really but you can give them to them.
Yeah.
Hand them right on over. Yes, you can.
Silver platter.
Man can do it. Yeah, see, women are nurturers, so they'll probably stay a little longer.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's why grandma stayed long.
Think about it. Granddad got 37 children outside. Got a baby everywhere. Don't let him be
Grandma
drove truck, but she still left. Get her still being there. He never left neither, did he?
Nope.
Hey, sometimes they have multiple children from the same woman, and they still never leave their wife. But you can hand them right over. A man can hand his wife over, and a lady can hand her husband over.
That's one of the stories I did want, because that's the reason why I was holding on to my marriage, because hearing those stories of grandma stayed and prayed, and I felt like I was being so foolish. Like, okay, grandma and mama did this, and they prayed for him, and they prayed their way through it while he was still doing what he was doing. And I was like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to stay and pray. If you're going to keep on cheating, I'm going to keep on leaving. Like, I'm not going to play this game with you.
You is playing because you leaving and coming back.
I ain't went back since, guys.
Wait, listen. To that, Shanice, listen to this part right here. That I think why a lot of relationships ended sooner than they should. Okay, he cheated, right? Now, biblically, you have every right to leave, right? Adultery, act of adultery, boom. But here's the thing. You can't let what name in them, I don't care if it's your mama, auntie, sister, whoever, if you want to stay and make it work, you cannot be worried about what everybody thinks.
True.
I understand. You like, this out here, he shenaniganing out here in these streets with these women. I'm tired of people coming up here. But if you decide to forgive him 7 times, that's your business. We always want to tell. I've never been in the business of telling anybody to leave their man. You hear me? Whether they married or not. I listen all day. But this is what you got to be real mindful of. As soon as they leave with this, if I was you, run.
Well, yeah.
Run. If somebody stopped the sentence, if I was you, and you're talking about your relationship, shut down, close it, leave the room, change the subject, whatever you got to do. Because number one, that if I was you person, I guarantee you she catch way more hell than you could ever imagine. But she gonna tell you to leave your man. You get to only you get to decide your deal breaker. You and you alone.
All right.
You can't let what society says. See, this social media thing got it so twisted.
Yeah.
They just be saying any damn thing out their mouth. It sounds clever.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's so good. Like, what are we doing? And I think after divorce, you have to be mindful of this. And that's why I always said marriage is beautiful. It's a wonderful thing, because I prayed and I said, God, please don't let me come off and be a bitter bitch. All these dudes ain't nothing. oh, child, I did that marriage thing. I ain't no, mine didn't work. That's me.
Yep.
Believe it or not, the hardest thing that hit me, I didn't even cry till about 6 months later, y'all. Right? But it hit me. Oh, you 41 years old and you single. Your whole identity for almost 20 years has been mother, wife.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So this is what I'm gonna tell those who are entering into committed relationships and who are in marriages. Do not lose yourself.
That's a lot of things
You
will happen.
have to save some for you. And see what happened was I'm sitting in the middle of my bed. I was Indian style. Okay, I was in here real tender, and I was like, "Ooh, girl, you is single." Hell, even if it wasn't working, this is what I knew. My boys are practically grown. You know, my oldest had graduated. My middle one was in his senior year. I had the baby. You know, DJ was sick, but he be under his brothers more than he under me. I looked around. I ain't had nothing that was my own. Nothing.
So you learning you all over again.
All over again. And see, then I had to stumble a lot. In these less than to be 6 years, y'all. I stumbled a lot in between because I tried to get over, tried to do my coping mechanism. It never happened. I ain't hurt. I ain't worried about it. You know, that's what I did. So, and I use other buffers. You know, I have a habit of going back to what I know. Oh, I know. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't about sex. Not saying I was having sex with them, not like that.
Else, but I ain't gonna say them.
But it's going back what you know. No, seriously, you go back to this. It's so funny how you so stuck in familiar places. I went back almost 30 years because I knew he still liked me. He still
because you know his patterns. You know his patterns.
Exactly. I ain't gotta look far. Woo. You understand what I'm saying? To ease that thing. Just it could just be a phone conversation because you're trying to get through the night. You know?
Because we all want to do it ourselves. It's hard, it's so hard
that quiet was extra quiet. Quiet was so quiet. It was like the quietest quiet I ever heard in my life. Like what the fuck like that?
Sometimes I be just letting my kids sleep in the bed with me on purpose.
But getting to know myself over again. Really, I stumbled upon. Oh, girl, I stumbled a lot. And when I started realizing, like, wait a minute, Nikki, this ain't working. That ain't working. I'm having these pointless conversations with people I know it's never going to go anywhere.
What you call it? I know you're going to F up my life.
Oh, girl. See? Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope y'all don't have no kids around, but I have to give it to you how it came. Everything about them say, Mr. Fuck Up Your Life. Everything about it. Right? Then look at me. I done said it. I'm just like this. Familiar. I know it's easier because I know it ain't going nowhere. Only thing gonna happen is I'm gonna lie, tell a few lies. Even people going all the way back to people I knew had a crush on me in elementary school. Let me tell you what I do. I lie.
Really go back
I flipped it. I flipped the script on them because you know how you reconnect because social media used to have little high school groups.
But the thing is, they come find you before you come find them half the time.
They come find you. Guess what? Look at me. I ain't got all it takes is a little bit of a little sip, and I ain't doing nothing but telling a few lies. Listen to some music.
Just a little bit of wine in my system, not too much. You know, all I need is a little.
All I'm saying at this point, and you know what I'm saying at this point, I liked you since elementary. I always had a crush. I told about 7 people that.
You knew you were supposed to be my husband. You knew them kids should have been mine. All of them.
But that's how I was coping. Like I stumbled. I'm trying to tell you how much I stumbled. Just nothingness after nothingness after nothingness. It was never going to go anywhere. First of all, you know me again. Outside of being the boy's mama, outside of being his wife, you understand? Like I had to get, and at this point I'm a grandma, So outside of being a grandma,
Mm.
it's like, okay, what what am I doing? Like I struggled so much. I had so many nights where I cried myself to sleep. And not because I wanted my marriage back. I didn't know who the hell I was.
Because you lost yourself in your
I
marriage. Yeah, that was
lost
your identity.
myself.
That was your.
I didn't, oh my gosh, I'm getting tender again. I didn't know how to just be me.
But this is not just. It's not just you, cousin. That's why we had to have this story because so many women lose their self in a marriage,
Oh my God.
and that's some point I was like I'm married now. Me and my husband are happily married, but sometimes I felt like I was just chasing his dream, and I had to realize, hey, don't get lost.
In the soul.
Don't get
You get
okay.
lost in that soul.
Because I don't
Listen,
want this to be. I don't want this to be just okay. This is just about you. It's about us, but I still want to make sure I have my thing.
you have
This is
to.
what makes me happy. I need to make sure I have my thing that makes me happy too.
I mean, if nobody don't get anything from this, one, marriage is amazing. You just got to keep constantly working at it and continue dating each other. Don't
Mm-hmm.
ever stop dating each other. Okay? Talk.
Exactly.
Ladies, when he's talking, ladies, when he's not talking, know his cues, know his body language. He may not be a big communicator like that, but no, if he's sitting on that end of the couch, maybe he had a rough day, maybe he just want to cuddle, but he one of them don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Go get him, go get him some cereal, whatever you like to eat, and sit on the couch with him and say, "Babe, how was your day?"
Well, he grabbed you like this
Or
or like
like
this.
this, or like this. You know what I'm saying? Like you really got to. You have when you in a relationship, you have to invest in each other.
Yeah.
And little stuff like, let me tell you one thing. I can call Sean. You did it. Wood was presenting something. Wood said something. You say, "Very good, baby." It was like boom. You want it wasn't for show. You just said it. So I know you constantly uplift your man. I'm like, come on, cousin. You
That's my dog.
understand? But right, you hear me? Go ahead on and praise that black man. Because it take a lot to stand up there and talk. Because a lot of men don't like to get in front of people and talk. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if it's on Zoom or in person.
Right.
And he said something I thought was so amazing. I know it's God, but I want to thank my wife because this wasn't me. I ain't know. I was like, come on, black man. That thing took me somewhere. Because we don't hear that part. We talk about all the negative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I I want to say this. No, go to asking this question because I can go on because I got stories for days.
I don't even want to ask the question on the thing no more. It's just coming so fluently.
It is. It is.
Okay, you open it
It's
up.
coming fluently. This is
Mm-mm.
freaking amazing. It is
Because
just
I
amazing.
want to get married again too. I know I'm gonna get married again. I had to talk to my. That's the conversation. Have you had a conversation with your kids about you getting married again? Bonus dad, because my kids are at the age of 7 and 8, and the first time we had this, I had this conversation with them. It was like a conflict with his dad or whatever, and they didn't understand the whole story, how it went down, and how the question presented itself. So I had to let them know how the question happened, and my son asked the question. And then just recently they asked the same question, and my son said something about a bonus dad. So I let them know, like, your dad is still going to be your. Nobody's ever going to take your dad's place. But when mommy gets married again, you're going to have a bonus dad, and when daddy gets married again, you're going to have a bonus mom. So, like, how did you present that conversation? Because your kids are a lot older. Like, have you had that conversation with them yet? Or do you feel like they're at the age where they understand now? Because I know they're protective of you, but how do you like?
This is what I said one day, joking. And it was one of our real moments that we have all in the kitchen. I was cooking something they wanted. And I said, y'all go. It's like they are very protective. So I think Jawan told me to come in the house or something.
Hmm?
And I didn't even, it wasn't about marriage. I just said, y'all know I'm going to have me somebody. Y'all going to have to get up out my business. I'm going to have me somebody. No, you don't need nobody, mom. They done instilled that in their little brother. I was sitting outside. This is a true story. Sitting outside in the car with one of them 30 pads, one of them people from 30 years ago. Sit in the car. My baby came out the door, tapped on the window. Mom, getting ready to close this garage. You gonna come in the house?
Mm.
No, hey, how you doing? Nothing. Mom, you need to come in the house. I'm getting ready to close the garage down. My house. In that moment, I realized this right here. And that's not the first time he did it. One day somebody said something to me. My baby say, "Oh, she good. She good." 12-year-old. I realized if I want to be with someone, I'm gonna have to let these kids have this house. It's mine. I pay the mortgage, but I'm gonna have to move on. Why y'all laughing? I'm dead serious. But for me, like I know, like I haven't really revisited marriage because I always said one and done, right? God may change my heart. He may send me, over here roofing and send me my Boaz. You hear me? But until then,
so what about you said marriage? Probably later on down the line. But what about dating? How's dating right now?
dating is non-existent.
None.
I need to meet. Like I realize that I went on a few dates. I have no lie. I went on a few dates. But it's like everybody that I'm running into. That's why I just said, you know what? I can't trust my judgment, so I'm gonna just wait because it's like it's nothing behind it. I'm running into people that make me feel like they want to be chased. I want to be cool. Look, get to know me. Like I get to know you. You get what I'm saying? It ain't always, I'm, yes, I want fine dining experiences, but we could go chill and go to Chili. That's all your pockets. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's not always you got to spend a whole gang of money. We could go. Listen, I'm cool with going to the beach and we go to Publix.
Come on,
I love that part. I want to say I don't want to say that I'm simple, but I'm simple.
What I'm saying is a good time is a good time. I like talking. I like getting to know. Let me learn more about you. Maybe I'll take interest in what you have because I feel like that's the only way it works. You cannot marry someone. I'm telling you though, somebody that's complete. It got to be some type of chemistry there. You can't be nothing alike. How is that gonna work?
Then we talk about opposite track. Do they really?
I get it here. No, I don't think so. It's something, y'all. You may be from a different background or whatever, but no, not really. Because think about it. If you know how to cook, Sean, you know how to cook, and then you know how to cook all these. I'm just okay. I'm speaking into the existence. My cousin know how to cook good, y'all.
He's cobbler.
Oh, everybody, I don't know how to cook no more. But anyhow,
link is in the bio. I'm sorry.
Yes. See Phenomenal One, link in the bio. She do all my business. But you made me lose my train of thought. Okay, you know how to cook. Slow down. It ain't just soul food. You know how to cook anything. You know how to bake. You know how to do that. And all he want to do is eat noodles and hot wings and shit. So your love language is cooking. What is here? I don't eat no onions. I don't eat everything that you flourish in. Like, what a ranch. Everywhere you go, you have some ranch dressing.
Hot sauce.
But I'm not talking about nobody, but I'm just giving you an example.
Right.
I'm using food as a narrative, but you gotta like something. Like if you like going to art museums, he may not be into it, but occasionally, I'm gonna go with you.
Right. That's what they'll do because it's all it got to be some type of balance. Like you got to do something I want to do, and I got to do something.
Exactly. It comes with the compromise.
Right.
And then you also, ladies, he's gonna need some time where he's gonna go somewhere without you. Just with the fellas.
Look, say that again, child.
He's gonna need his time too. Like you want to she shed, he might need a man cave. He may not need a man cave, but he might need a man minute.
I like to get away from you.
You know how we take these girl trips and we may be all in committed relationships. We ain't doing nothing we ain't got no business doing. But when we in the hotel or the villa, we in there doing acting crazy, twerking, and whatever we want to do.
Right.
And that's furniture stuff we wouldn't do at home. It's like it has to be a balance. He needs something that's just his. That's outside of his wife and his kids. And you got some kids some guys that, I don't do nothing. I be with my wife all the time. I guarantee you something he does that's just his. I don't care if it's a comic book, he like to watch wrestling or whatever it is. It's something that he likes. And you have to allow him that.
Exactly. But you know what? When you mention the girls' trips, women do that a lot. but you don't really see dudes going on male trips.
Because we put this narrative on why men want to go somewhere, but why all y'all women want to go somewhere together? What y'all doing?
Like it's healthy. Everybody's not going out there to cheat, just so you know.
They not cheating or being gay or whatever y'all want to be. We just actually, girls can go on trips all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But guys go on a trip,
right? They need that time to themselves. They need to be able to think.
They had an identity before us.
Yeah. And I think that's something we need to push as women, because we push a whole bunch of other stuff, but we don't never push celebrating the men in our lives or just men in general and telling them, hey, go ahead, like what happened at the safe house, like the men going out for Father's Day. This needs to become normal.
And seeing them hug
each other, that moment where they was just all
now that made me tender.
It made me extra tender. I was like, oh, I came back and told my boys, and then you captured the moment so beautiful. I was like, boys, look at it. I'm like, listen, we need, as women, we need to create a space where men feel okay being vulnerable. We don't tear them down.
Girl, that's why G.E.T.O talk is here.
We don't tear them down because they come in the house and say, man, babe, I had a bad day. They may not be crying, but they just, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. I got overwhelmed without what you mean. You know, and I think it goes back to a lot of times it's our defense mechanism, but also what we saw.
This is so true. This is so true.
If all you saw was a woman tearing a man down, you think, oh, you got to have these in mind. You got to, no, I don't want to have to talk to my man like that. We're going to disagree. That's life. But we should be able to know how to talk to one another without name calling.
But that's what you say. That's where that compromise come in too. Because if he coming in from a long day and he had a bad day, he needs you to be able to uplift him.
Don't come regularly in this man every time I take the garbage out. Why you didn't fix this? Why you did that? Let this man take his damn shoes off before you go with all this going on.
Hell, at least let him get a bath.
Hey.
Look, let him be clean with it.
But it's what I'm saying. But you want to now. This is the narrative. Now you see why you will see a man dusty as hell out in the street. Like, why you ain't went home and bathed yet?
Because his wife is nagging,
or he on the block because it's you putting. It's you.
And don't nobody want to say that because I know plenty of them do that. I'm like, bro, this ain't it. If you feel like you have to stay home all day with your homeboys after you don't work the long day, especially if you work in the sun, that means that
something wrong.
Y'all need to talk. Yeah, y'all need to talk.
Nobody wants to talk, and people don't get what communication you need. But it's two types of communication.
It is.
It's unspoken. You need to learn one another. That's why I promised myself I want to date. And see, when people think about dating, they think about exclusively dating. No, that's not where I'm at when I mean dating. Dating, if we read the definition, is dating, going out on an outing, meaning you don't have to be exclusive. You decide whether or not you want to be exclusive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My taste has changed. I don't know what I like no more.
Because you learning you all over again.
I'm learning me all over again. A lot of things, like I go a lot of places by myself. I enjoy it. And I'm like, okay. So if I meet someone where I'm at, they already know I enjoy to do this.
So how was it? How was it dating you? Because a lot of people that after divorce either. You dating you now.
Yeah, it is. I am dating me. And in the beginning, I ain't really like me. I didn't.
What was the problem?
Girl, at first I had a body image issue, my weight, right? And then
press pause. You said body weight. Did that come up anywhere in your marriage?
Never.
So you created that narrative.
I didn't create that narrative. One day he looked at me, right? He gave me this look, y'all. Like I disgusted him. And that's what I put in my head from that point on. He could have been mad about something else with that look. He was from that point on.
Okay.
And it was that. Even though I lost weight, we split up. To be honest with you, I couldn't lose no weight none of that time, but I lost weight after. Mm-hmm. I lost about.
That was the weight you needed to lose. It was him.
Yeah, I lost it. I lost about I lost about 38 pounds.
Yes.
It was that, right? And then I
Was
started.
outside.
I was trying to be outside. I was hanging, y'all. I was hanging hard, trying to just not, because I was lonely. Cause
Mm-hmm.
see, listen, I had been lonely so long in the marriage, right? And I was
Mm.
like, it don't make sense to be lonely in your marriage.
Ooh.
So once it was over, I'm single, single again, back on the prowl. I felt like I shouldn't be lonely anymore.
Mm.
Like, okay, now, but I had to tell myself, oh, it makes sense to be lonely. But again, what I said, what you do, what I said I do, go back to what's comfortable. Meaningless conversation.
Yep.
Good, good dude. I ain't taking nothing from him. But
Mm-hmm.
knowing that it's never going to be anything. First of all, they still with Nikki, 17-year-old Nikki.
Yep.
This one with 21-year-old Nikki. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like they still there, and I'm not. I'm way not her anymore. Nikki got 3 kids. Like,
Nick is
live in a
mentally
house by.
grown.
Yes, I'm grown out here. Like, so it is dope though.
Yeah.
Dating me is super dope. Yo, like, people are like, how you go places by yourself? Hell, I travel by myself because I love who I'm becoming. And I'm still doing the work. It's still a lot of work to do. But the best thing I ever prayed was, God, show me me.
Surprise.
And somebody said to me, I never prayed that. I say, think about it. You, you can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself. But then, yes, you can, because you'll tell yourself, I'm okay. I'm
Mm.
okay. But when you ask God to show you you, because see, nobody's going to be able to tell you who you are at that point,
Mm-hmm.
because you got it from your source, right? So, about when you committed to being the best version of yourself and you ask God to show you you, ooh, it hurt. It's ugly. It's a lot of punch in the air days.
Or you smell like
It's a
book.
lot of crying. It's a lot of bump that, man. I am who I am. This the way I'm in. This is the way I am. They gonna have to deal with it. But how can I ask God to send me somebody, this good man? I got this checklist. I want him handsome. I want, a provider. This all I want all this, but I ain't willing to get me together. I
Mm-hmm.
ain't willing to make myself deserving of that type of man.
Mm-hmm.
And see, all I have to do is just be honest.
You better say
Allow
it.
myself some grace. Allow others the same grace I give everybody else. When I was putting myself on the back burner, now I put me first, and I allow myself grace. So when I kind of revert back, I say, okay, get together, me. I don't beat myself up like I used to. You know, it's really dope. Like, I'm dope in real life, dog. Like, for real.
You are.
I'm dope in real life, yo. Like, I am what you see is what you get. I'm a flawed individual, and I'm gonna spell it out so it won't ever get twisted. I'm from Miami, so y'all gotta get the jargon. Anybody else that's tuning in from somewhere else, I'm flawed. FLAWED, but I'm not flawed. You understand? What you see is what you get. And if I can be transparent
You better be.
and put myself out here like this, oh, I'm unstoppable. So if anybody's listening,
Mm-hmm.
that's like me, 40 plus,
Yeah, 500. We got 500 up there. They listening.
that's
Better
good.
tell them.
All we need is one.
All we need is one.
Feeling less than, feeling like a failure, feeling like your time has passed you by. Let me just change your mind at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
At 46 years old, my life is just beginning.
Come on. Oh.
It's just beginning. I dare you. I dare you. Dream big. Cause it's only up from here, yo.
It
I'm
is.
that I'm living I'm truly living in the manifestation of my prayers right now. Everything ain't perfect. I'm still working on me.
Right.
But the fact that I can get on here and tell this story,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, Tell the truth. Tell me, because
Right.
you have to think about certain things. People, oh, that ain't how happy yes it is. I ain't got no reason to lie. You know, but you can survive your marriage ending. You can survive that heartbreak, and love really is yours for the taking.
It is.
But allow yourself to be loved. Prepare yourself to be loved. That woman you're dreaming of, men, that man you're dreaming of, ladies, or vice versa, whatever your preference is out there. But you can't honestly expect that person to come if you're not willing to do the work on yourself.
That part. Because if you don't do the work on yourself, all you're gonna do is keep attracting the
It's the
same type of
it's the
guy.
same person. See, now let me tell you something. When I realized that I was the problem as far as my selection, I don't know. Ooh, okay, God, ladies, I'm gonna say this to you. Stop. This just dropped in my spirit. Stop going after unattainable men. I was guilty. Now, Nikki, what you mean by unattainable? The ones that are emotionally detached. It ain't always, everybody think about, oh, they got a lady. No, 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 no. If he don't know who he is and you don't know who you are, what are we doing?
Exactly.
We talk about them build a bear. I'm out the build a bear stage. See, and when people hear that, like, oh, you think a man's supposed to have money? No, because everybody got peaks and valleys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said this to y'all before. I heard this sermon and it spoke to me, and it just this what stayed with me. He said, I'm not asking you to have as much as me. I'm just asking you to be able to have the capacity to hold everything I'm gonna pour into you. But see,
Ooh.
one thing about me, if you mine, if you my man, you mine. I'm gonna take care of mine.
Mm.
Tell me nothing about my man. You know, it's certain things that I know I know it's things that I could have done better,
Mm-hmm.
but I was a good wife. But it was some things I could have done better. You know, so you have to, hmm, ladies, those men that always need, baby, he ain't gonna never be able to lead you, not because he in need. He don't know who he is at this moment. Now
Right.
that don't mean you can't spin the block and come back at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
But at this moment, if it's always, man, I got a lot going on. Y'all be going good, and then all of a sudden you go. It's okay. I know it's hurtful, but one thing I know is glitching. Y'all can hear me now?
Get a volume.
How about now?
Glitching on. I think it's glitching on your side.
It's probably yeah.
Okay. Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, bet. I took them things out. One thing about it is this: when those men are, oh, I lost my train of thought. When those men are, what's the last thing I said? I hate when I'm sorry because I'm trying to remember about working too. What's the last thing I said?
You said that the men would don't date a man that was unattainable. Like,
Unattainable.
yeah, he was emotionally detached.
Mostly detached. A lot of times it's scary to them.
Mm.
They used to what they used to. I always said this with my boys. I said their first impression they get of a woman is of me, from me, right?
Right.
See, boys and them, I feel like, and that's just mine. Ain't no proven fact. Okay, don't beat me up, y'all. But I truly believe that a lot of these men saw their mama do any and everything. So
So they
how can you not do any and everything? You better than my mama?
Right.
They ain't gonna never come out and say that. But I was always mindful of that. It's been
Yeah.
6 years. No one has been in my house. I sit outside and I sit on their car, whatever. They may make it to the garage. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but that's just me. I just in my mind I was like, I'm not bringing nobody. My kids. Maybe I felt like I put it. They experienced too much, and I wasn't beating or anything like that, but just the arguing and stuff. That I'm not. If I bring somebody here, they got to really be the person that I'm with.
Right. Yeah. Let's get on that last
right.
He
comment.
said, I keep wondering why it seems like the new dating men are intimidated. I don't know. I don't know if it's intimidated or everything is so easy.
I was gonna say they had a microwave mentality.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. I think I ain't got my glasses on, Queen. I believe that it's why I got to put in all this effort. Remember when they say why buy the cow when you can have the milk for free or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's so stuff is given so they don't have to earn you anymore.
Yeah.
Because you already given wife before.
Like, why am I going to take? It's always been girls that been free sexually or whatever, do whatever they sleep with whoever they want to sleep. But that's not it. But what I'm saying is everything is so instant. Everybody has this. Oh, we grown.
Yeah.
Everything is sex, and then we get to know each other.
Right.
And that's the worst way to get to know somebody.
Come on,
That,
because now you tied to this feeling. You tied to this feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and then ain't nothing else attached.
nothing.
Nothing
We got another.
attached.
We got another
You
question.
know. Go ahead,
Kiana
baby.
asks, "Do you think your sons feel like your husband, or you unintentionally made them your husband? Do you think your sons feel like your husband, or you made them unintentionally your husband?"
I think sometimes they think they are, but no, I don't put that responsibility on them because simply, those two were grown. Two of them were grown, basically. You know what I'm saying? And I think they feel responsible and protective over me, right? Because at the end of the day, they saw me crying a lot,
Mm, it is.
right? So it's like this different. This our dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna allow another dude to come in here and handle my mama like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I don't, because I know they got to have their life.
Yeah. Not. I don't think she was asking as far as like you made it. It's just they became that because they're so strong minded, or nah, ain't no other, another man can come to my mama like I'm the
Yes,
man.
yes,
I'm the man.
yes, yes. Okay, I misinterpreted the question. Yes, yes, Kiana, absolutely.
We got a quick commercial break. Right now, we finna shout out to Michelle. Y'all see these
Michelle.
little?
Lips is popping,
Yeah.
LeBlanc.
And somebody put it
What's
in there.
her
It's old.
LeBlanc?
Forgive us if we pronouncing it wrong. We'll post a story on there so y'all can tap in and get some of this good old lipstick,
Look,
matte, and lip gloss.
don't rub it in because it make your lips dry. Okay, so cousin, my question, what was your mental state at this point? Because a lot of women, just like we watch, what was it? Hell, a thin line between love and hate, even though they weren't married, waiting to exhale. You know how she burnt the man clothes and stuff. What was your mental state going
At what point?
when it wasn't going good? When you was like, you know what? We gone. No, we coming back. No, we gone. No, we coming back.
Mm, what part?
Or
Okay,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go the middle towards the end. Like you getting ready to, you have 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
I'm
Or
tired.
better question: when did you know
I'm
that it was?
tired. I knew. You want to know the truth? I
I
knew.
still want to know her mental state though,
I
because a
was
lot
tired.
of
I told you tired. I was
yeah.
just. I had no more fight in me. It was like,
You got it. Oh yeah, you know what you done. You like, you know what?
Okay. Random question: what was your go-to song during this whole process? What was the song that like, oh, I'm done, I'm over this, like it's over with? What was your go-to song?
it's at first I wasn't done. I thought I was done. Latoya Luckett,
Yeah.
torn between. That's when I thought I was done, but I really wasn't.
Mm.
Truth be told, when
He put
I'm in
no.
that
We are
heartbreak
flipping.
stage, I'm different, y'all. I don't want to listen to no her whole music. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
What you put on
Listen
there?
to Trick Daddy.
No. Girl, I be all right. I'll be a killer out here. I'll be listening to Scarface, Jesse James. That's my go-to song, y'all. That's my go-to.
Everybody, stretch your hands forth right now.
Dear God.
That I'm just saying, listen, because look, when you start singing your little love songs, when you look in my life, man, I'm crying now. I want to go fight somebody. Y'all better let me listen. You better let me listen to Jesse James.
You should
Cause I'm just ad lib,
you should
and
have
this
went
is like
treat
a little
that. If
play.
anybody want to down,
No,
come see.
no, cause see that's like party for me. That's the party turn up song right there. Even though you talking violence, but nah, you just hitting your chest, you just vibing. No, Scarface. That I'm gonna tell you, Scarface and Snoop Dogg, Murder Was the Case.
Oh, you different.
I'm different. I keep
Oh,
telling
you
you
can't
I'm real different because
murder.
I'm not listening to them love songs. I'm not listening because I'm telling you I'm being here tender, all rolling and crying and slobbing and nah, man.
Nah,
I
this one
got things to do.
messages with songs, so that's why.
No, listen, because in my mind I wouldn't allow myself to be that way because now I'm gonna shut down.
Mm,
So I have to keep my mind right. I got too much to do. At one point, when I knew it was that I was working full time, going to school full
mm,
time, I had to, and I still had to come home and cook. I still had to make sure. By the time I got home during the day, I would pick DJ up, drop him off to the boys. I would get home like 9:30, study a little bit. I'm back up. I'll probably go to bed like 12. Back up 5:30, getting Jerron them up, ready to get on the bus to get to the West.
mm.
Then it's time for me because I had to be working 7:30, and that was 4 days out the week. So I could not allow myself. Yes, I cried. I cried in the shower. I cried, boom, 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 wash your face, get up out of there. When I take my shower, I get out. Okay, let's start this day. So when a better answer is after that 6 months when I finally did cry after we split up, I think that was accumulation of all of that.
Mm.
Because when I cried, I mean, I ugly cried, and I stayed in the bed probably like a week.
Because you ain't really give yourself.
I never
You
allowed myself to
ain't
do
really
that.
give yourself. So it was just like one of those moments. You know what? It hit me.
Divorce is grief. Like that's the death of a marriage. Like people don't look at it that way. Like your marriage just died.
But it's
It
okay
is.
because it's goodness around the corner.
Yeah.
That's what we saying in this. I hope that don't go over
Oh,
nobody's
it ain't
head.
going over nobody's head. This is I know a lot of people dealing with this, and it's like just to hear somebody else's experience. I know ain't nobody losing hope. I'm just gonna put that out in the air. Ain't nobody losing hope. They like, dang, you went through this too, or I know somebody else that went through this, or just feeling the energy or the heart, and just getting a better level of understanding for somebody that done been through it.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you why I know you can get through it. Even after the divorce, still trying to find myself, right? I think this is really important to say. Life keeps happening.
It
And
does.
and even though you're grieving this, trying to figure some things out, life is continuing to happen. So while I was trying to figure myself out and find myself out again, life happened. You know, I've been thinking, okay, and then I lost 2020, almost took me out of here, y'all. I experienced a lot of loss, and I was still trying to figure out who I was. And I think when I thought that it took me back more, it actually made me better. It broke me. My sister passed, and then my brother passed 6 weeks later.
Mm.
And all I wanted was for somebody to be there for me, right? Well, I'm getting tender again. And the person that I thought would be there was nowhere to be found. That took me somewhere, but it was hurtful. And most people are like, well, how you function? How you functioning? God, because I got broke. When I say broke me all the way down to pieces, crumbles.
Mm.
But look at me now.
Look at you now, baby.
Look at me now. I
Right.
needed that. And guess what? If I could change anything, I wouldn't. And that's the truth. I know people say it, but dog, I wouldn't be able to tell this story had I not experienced life the way I experienced it.
Your test is your testimony.
Yes, because at the end of the day, let me tell you something. People that the siblings that are the oldest, that's a tough job because you got to figure it out for everybody, and it's okay. God designed you for that. He knew who to come first because he knew what your strengths were. But you have to find your strength because in those moments I found my strength. When I wanted to hate, I couldn't.
Mm.
When I
But I was honest. I sound mad, God. What's
Mm-hmm.
up? What you doing? You trying to take a play out? Cause
Mm-hmm.
I was so heartbroken.
Felt like God was coming for you.
And I'm
To her.
like, cause you see the order, or the order of things, how we put it in our head is this. Just like a parent should never have to bury their child, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as the oldest, you kind of take that same responsibility. You feel like it's gonna go in order. I came here first, so I should go first.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I was so mad because me and my sister had just, we were 12 years apart, so we had just got to the point where we could have girl talk and all that stuff like that, you know? But it gave me a lot. Like, I would have never did this. I would have never told my story.
Mm-hmm.
All that loss, I know it sounds strange, but God took me through something so I could stand here right now and tell somebody life ain't over.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it didn't work out. Even outside of that divorce, that business and friendship. And let me get close to this because, see, a lot of people get upset with when I say this, but I'm standing 10 toes down on this. It's okay to back away from your family. If they're not conducive to your mental health,
Mm-hmm.
they affect your sanity, it's okay to love at a distance. You know, we always expect, but you don't hear nobody say this but us. Blood thicker than water. Guess what? So is honey. So is honey.
Wow.
You know, so is
It
honey.
is.
If it does not fit with your sanity, because we don't like to talk about mental health in the Black community,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to back away.
Right.
I've caught myself at times taking my anger out on my boys, and I go back and I apologize. My boys are going to always feel safe. I'm going to hold them accountable, but they're going to always feel safe here. They got a safe place here,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't allow, that's why we have so many men in prison, us, our people, because we don't want to deal with issues that they showed when they were young. Ain't nothing wrong because we feel like we could beat it out of them.
Which you can't.
And I think a lot of marriages would survive if we just go get counseling. And sometimes that counseling, nothing against religious counseling, is perfect. Sometimes it works.
As long as you got the right counsel.
Right.
The right counsel. But sometimes you got to step out of the circle, because if you grew up in that church, your spouse gonna feel like that's your pastor, even though it's y'all pastor, not because he decided to join the church. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you're gonna have to step out to a mutual place
Exactly.
to get the help that you need, and be open to it. Ladies, be open to, mm, you ain't got it all together neither, miss. Because I'm gonna tell you what I did wrong. And I admit this. I used to always say this. And I thought I wasn't throwing it back up in his face, but I was. I used to say, I don't cheat.
Uh,
I be in a house. Why I got to throw in the cheating part? I know I don't cheat. He know I ain't cheating.
yeah, but they still find a way to try to accuse you of it.
But it's subliminally throwing it back up in his face that he cheating. You get what I'm saying?
True. I ain't never look at it that way.
What are you saying it for?
Mm-hmm.
You know you ain't cheating. You don't go nowhere. So what you keep saying that for? But I found myself selling myself, and I'm like, I could see if I was out here in the streets. I could see if I was doing this. I could see I was doing that. I pretty much was saying what he doing. But if I say I forgave you and I stayed, that's dead.
Mm.
You can forgive. You ain't got to forget. But I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably should forget, because every time, if you do something, another infraction coming, all that other stuff come back.
Yeah, it is.
Trying to have a whole tattoo on my arm that said "Forgive and never forget." I gotta change it.
To be honest with you, I think that's kind of, you might want to forget,
That's why I say
because
I gotta change it.
it feeds insecurities. Number one, now, even if you done got past it, right? But it's gonna always be a little tingle. Let a female walk by that look like what name that he was talking to.
Mm.
You looking at him to see if he looking at her. You looking at him, he looking at you. He holding his neck straight, trying not to look that way, cause he already know what's coming. He know I'm finna get in trouble, and I ain't even did nothing. It's you. Who child? Listen,
Yeah.
if y'all ain't getting no healing up out of this, come on, y'all telling the story, because this is something amazing. Y'all just help me heal. Y'all don't know how free I feel at this moment.
Come on. And
I
that's
feel like a weight was lifted off of me. Like, that stigma of divorce, especially when you be around a whole bunch of married. You see people married or in couples or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be over here, be what they call the ladies that don't be married.
I don't know. I just know they got the old cat ladies
Yeah,
that be.
I don't like animals. I don't want to be her.
Bird lady.
You been dog lady.
I don't like animals,
Nah,
period. My kids
we
want the
gonna put
animal
it
forever.
there. You're going to get married again. You're going to find your bow ass, not broke ass, not dumb ass, not stupid ass.
Please,
You
please.
gonna find bow ass.
Not
What he
what name, not Build a
know?
Bear, but he's out there,
And
ladies
workshop.
and fellas.
God,
Because I know it's some fellas out here that have been unlucky enough too. It don't just
Yeah,
be happening to
yeah.
us
Just don't,
ladies. And fellas, she's out there.
hey, we gonna get PJ. He gonna tell his side.
yeah. We gonna get PJ. PJ, we coming for you next. Might be tomorrow.
Like it put it out there, like, fellas, it's okay. And guess what? I think what the biggest thing is, we need to change our type. Mm, mm. Change your type. I go different places. I want to meet different people I probably wouldn't never consider dating. You know?
Or remove type in general and ask God to give you the idea of what he wants. Just praying for God, just give me the man. Like, I know we be wanting certain things, certain colors, dark skin, light skin, buff, a belly, but it's like just to change our own type, because we were already groomed to have a certain type growing up, and sometimes we don't stay away from it. So just a prayer of God, let my will be yours. Let my eyes be your eyes, give me a heart for my husband, so that I won't pervert it with my own imagination.
Come on, somebody. You know what I just thought about in this moment? You know how somebody asks you what you want? Do you know what you want?
Mm.
Like, no, for real. Think about this. You say, well, what do you want in a man? You ain't even got to be about a man, just anything. You could ask somebody what they want, and the first thing they say is, I know, I just don't want. That's not what I asked you.
Yeah.
You think about the end before the beginning.
Right? I didn't ask you that, right? So I think that's part of the problem too. You know exactly what you don't want, but what do you want? And somebody asked me that question. And I said, I don't, they didn't even catch it. I played it back in my head and I said, I didn't even answer the question. Well, I just don't want no man that don't trust me. I don't want, ask me now. I bet y'all can tell you. Ask me
What you
now.
want?
I want a man.
This gonna be the benediction. Tell the
Yeah,
folks
come
what
on.
you want, and then leave us with something. Tell whatever advice we
Okay.
can give to men that want to get married or women that still have hope of getting married. Leave
Okay.
them last thoughts.
So what I want is a man that knows God, right? And then once he knows God, I want him to know himself, right? Because see, he know God and he love God. Let me correct. He loves God and he loves himself, because he can't love me properly without loving himself first,
Right.
right? You understand? I want a man that prays with me and for me, and a man that lets me be unapologetic. Antoinette Nicole
Mm.
Johnson. Because anywhere yes, I get all of it. Because anywhere I'm lacking, he gonna pick up the slack. That man right there is gonna have a plan. That man is gonna have a vision, and I'm about right into it. And that having a plan and having a vision has nothing to do with money. He ain't gotta come with a whole bunch of money and all that stuff like that. Because a man like that gonna have some money. It may take a little time to get to it. That's just like the icing on the cake. See, I know how to get to my own money. So if you know how to get to some money, I know how to get some money. That's just, but that right there, loves God, loves himself, prays for me and with me, and allows me to be unapologetically Antoinette Nicole Johnson. Now, if I leave, what I can leave y'all with is this, fellas and ladies, don't give up. And if you have somebody in your life, but you kind of on the ropes, I'll say this: imagine yourself without them.
Mm.
How does that feel? Do you want to experience life without him or her? That alone will answer a lot of questions. That'll let you know if you should work at it a little more. That doesn't mean y'all gonna be together. But what it means is maybe we should work a little harder. Let me see what I can do a little better. Can you imagine? Do you want to live life without that person?
That's a good one, cousin.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it first from Nicky J.
Hey, cousin, we thank you so much.
I thank y'all so much. Oh my gosh, y'all don't know what y'all did for me.
This was amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, this was amazing. If y'all didn't catch it live, we're gonna save it so you can go back for the replay. We was in for like what?
Almost 2 hours.
Almost 2
we didn't
hours.
have no
An hour and a half.
Look, I told you we're gonna do this again. So
Look
we
at
ain't
my
had no
friend. Hey, Nelly.
We just let the Lord move how he moved. Just like that.
listen,
This was dope. Y'all all professional. Y'all got the grass wall. Girl, all I got is my little gray wall.
everybody named mama on social media, guys.
Girl, all I got is wall. I'm in the corner. Don't nobody put baby in the corner.
They did say the grass was greener on the other side. We had to get this,
The pun intended. Thank you.
I love y'all
We
so
love you,
much.
cousin. We love you. We love you.
Welcome. Oh my gosh, this was amazing. It was an honor to be on you guys' podcast tonight. I hope something I said made a difference to anyone, even if it was just one person. I hope I gave somebody some clarity. I hope my story did something for you, did good and not harm.
Mm-hmm.
It did.
And I'm just saying, I leave with love, and y'all go out and be great, because greatness is in you.
And
For real though.
And y'all already know how we ended. If y'all don't, then go find out. Click the link, and the link is in the bio. Let them know.
The link is in the bio. I have my page. I'm just joking. No, I'm not. Phenomenal One is my booking agent. It's jokes. It's jokes.
right, still we're available,
But check out our YouTubes. We already got some series out. Church folk, hurt folk. Stay tuned. But how we end it, stay lit,
stay live,
and stay focused.
and we out.
Yo.